The worst thing you can ever tell a child of God is that they will not recover. I came on divine assignment to tell somebody in this room, you will recover everything.
All right, guys, journey with me as I go to Falmouth, Trelawny, to check on one of our properties down there. My sister's property. But while I'm here in Jamaica, assisting to take care of it. Like, you know, it used to be an Airbnb, still is an Airbnb, but I had transitioned a little bit into doing short-term rental. I'm looking out for my sister because, hold on, they went inside to get breakfast, and I went to get gas, and I'm finished. I'm waiting for them. I told her to hold the video camera, but she gone about her business. So she on a camera woman. But anyways, let me call her and tell her that I'm actually around the other side. Where is she there? Alright, so we heard from our tenant that the house got a little bit of damage. We got pictures as well, so yep, so right now, so we're not angels, something like that. You know, that's my sister. After card. I'm not going to take you guys can go around. What? You can finish? Okay. Alright, so she finished, so let's head back out. Oh, toll. I don't need toll until I get down to the other side. I just need to get a card. I have to take out my toll before. I love to have my money on hand. Down to the north side has always been, something that feels like more like a vacation. Whenever you drive out of Kingston, it's a different kind of feeling, and it didn't feel any different. I'm not sure if it's because on the highway it did, you were still seeing greenery, and it was still beautiful, as it was prior to Hurricane Mellissa. But it was nice. It was really nice, and it felt as though we were going on vacation. Unfortunately, we were not. But it was a sight to see. And as we exited the toll road, you can see that there we enter into the communities. We're seeing a little bit clearer as to what is happening. We're on the outskirts of St. Anne, so a lot of damage didn't really take place there. When I spoke with people who were behind the scenes, in the communities, like, other communities or neighborhoods in Brownstown area and beyond the outskirts, they would have experienced some amount of damage. But those, as you can see on the main road heading to Montego Bay, Falmouth, Discovery Bay, Runaway Bay, they look pretty decent, pretty fine. Palm trees were still intact, and there's still some amount of greenery on those on those roads, right? And it was obvious that in these areas, they had most of the business places were open and operating, and I'm assuming that people from outside would have actually come here to get gas and food and stuff like that. But as we enter, as we leave out of St. Anne's Bay area and head towards the Salem, we realize that this is when the drama started, because trees were down. You could see light poles, and while we were going, we were saying we need to invest in some concrete light poles, because they must be the stronger version of light poles. But to our surprise, there were a lot of concrete light poles that were down. They were broken in half, or they were just down flat on the ground. And I don't know if you know the little cylinder looking things that's on the light poles. We passed even one of them that had about 3 of them installed on it, down flat. And to me, that means that that area will not be getting back power anytime soon. So while we were driving through, it was just a sight to see, like especially when we touched those areas beyond St. Anne and heading into Salem, Discovery Bay, Runaway Bay. You could actually see the effects of Hurricane Mellissa, and you're wondering, like, my God, girl, what you hear about, man? How you mash up the place? So it was bad. It was really bad. There was a section on Discovery Bay that we were told is the harbor. That's the path that Mellissa took. And listen, when you look over on that side, the trees were like just chopped off. Like, the nice green lush trees were no longer that. They were like sticks. And, you could clearly see the ocean that you couldn't see before. And, on the other side of the road, you could see the mountains, like you always have those stones. They're washed off. The trees that would have covered those are down. And it was just a sight to see. It was a sight to see. The gas stations that were open, you could see them, like, the lines ridiculously long. And prior to arriving at the conclusion that the reason why the gas stations were full, I thought the gas was cheap. So I'm like, no man, free gas I give over there, gas must be dirt cheap. But then we realized that, you see, because I'm coming from the Old Harbor area and the Kingston area, where there is light basically almost everywhere, heading down there, I didn't even realize that these places don't have power. Right, so I'm thinking that maybe it's free gas or cheap gas or something. Then I came to the realization that throughout that area, down that side, literally has no power. So whichever gas station is open, you're going to find the people bundled up there to get gas, because not many are actually open. Another thing that I noticed while we were going down was, see, look at the line. Another thing that we noticed while we were going down was, there were little congregations of people in different spots. I mean, say, what happened? These people, what happened? They're waiting on somebody. What are they? What's going on? Then we found out that there is no cell power tower. There is no signal. So wherever they drove and they found a little bit of signal, they would stop there to ensure that they communicate, with their relatives as to what is happening. People. I tell you, man, sometimes we don't know how blessed we are until we go into different areas, and these are not the areas that were terribly affected. As you can see, the place still looks a little bit nice-ish, right? Even though Hurricane Mellissa passed through, still look a bit nice-ish. But you do have the houses, that the roofs are gone. Some houses, were lost. You still have the Brownstown area that, suffered a little bit. Key Valley, those areas in the St. Anne region and beyond, those were in the hills of St. Anne. They would have felt it too. and would have suffered major losses, right? But driving down, man, I didn't even get to drive slow enough to see what was really happening, because the tenant was waiting for us at the house, so we had to get there in time, and we didn't know how much work we had to do either when we get there. So it was just a matter of us getting there and getting things done before dark, because I mean, we don't know what to expect, and we don't know when the power is going to be back, but we're still taking in the scenery as we drive down, and we're talking about what happened. We're talking about the people who don't have power. We're talking about the people who don't have a roof over their heads. My God, it's just it's sad. It's sad, and to think that it's just a quarter of Jamaica that is feeling it, and just seeing it online and seeing some of it in person, you're saying that, my God, imagine if the hurricane had taken the path that initially set out to take, like come east and sweep across the west. There would be no Jamaica. Like we would have dead. There would be no Jamaica, because this girl, my God, this girl came with vengeance. This girl came to destroy. This girl came to kill. This girl came to steal. This girl wipe out Jamaica. I tell you, man, the little areas that she touched, and we're just driving down, and we're just talking about it, and we're preparing ourselves, preparing our minds to go down to Falmouth, because we did see a few pictures and videos of what would have taken place in Falmouth, and we're just prepared for the worst. We didn't get to go into the town area, of course, because we were stuck at home cleaning and all these things, but heard that it was really bad as well. But thanks be to God, no lives are lost. We're okay. No lives are lost. And, we're just going to check on our neighbors and friends and community members just to see if everyone is okay. And we're driving up now. We're almost there. We're almost at our location. And while we're driving down, we could see the houses on the left, because, these are houses that we couldn't see before. We're actually looking over into the scheme area, and looking at the houses, and we can see the blue tarpaulins on top of some of the houses, from a distance, right? And we're like, my God, Mellissa, what did you do? Yes, so we're turning on the Florence Hall Village Road right now. This is the same road that you take to go to the multi-purpose stadium that's on the other side, talking to the security guard. Guys, so this is the Airbnb in Falmouth that was transitioned to short-term rental. Alright, so this used to be a breadfruit tree. This was our nice mango tree, gone. Oh, the lime tree not too bad, man. The lime tree look alright, man. I mean, it's, a little bit, yeah, I talked to next door and him have a something there. What you call it? Yeah, like a handsaw. So if I see Sanjay, if I see him, I call him to come deal with it. What? Yeah. Alright, so this is it. See all of the shingles in there? Everything blow off of the roof. And I realized in the community that these, let me show you them something here. The skirting them. These, all of them gone from the houses. Like most of them. So let me show you the front. I had a little mango tree here, a little East Indian mango tree, and it would have dead. I will pay $6,000 for if it come. My God. But anyways, yeah, this is what the roof is looking like. Most of the shingles gone, so we're gonna have to do extensive work on it before this can be rented again. And the current tenant that was here, his contract would have ended. Oh, happy new month. This is the 1st of November. His contract would have ended the 30th of November. So this is what it's looking like. Yeah, the whole of the veranda gone. And the front room, yeah, it looks terrible on the outside, but it is. But when you go inside so much, it's because of the built, the kind of wood that they used to build the roof. I don't know what kind of roof you call that. It's not too bad. Before the hurricane, he had limbed up this ribena tree, and if you know about ribena, you know that it's very rich in antioxidants. This used to be our sweet sap tree that bears. I'm gonna tell you, say beer bad, beer good. I mean, like, yeah, nice fat juicy sweet saps. I used to grow on this tree. But anyways, and that's a jimbling tree right there. The jimbling is still not too bad. It doesn't bear a lot, but whatever it bears, it's edible. Yeah, so this is what the yard is looking like. Lots of shingles, and thanks be to God, the tenant that we have is a very industrious, economical, very helpful, cool youth. Let me tell you, man, nice. The window, when he came, I think the window, because he wasn't here when the hurricane was on, the window did kind of jump out a socket. So I think he probably got a chance to put it back in. Yeah. But these are the exterior damages. My neighbor said that the house was rocking, like it felt like more like an earthquake when the wind was blowing. So structural damages are definitely there, Structural damages are very much there. And these are cases of water that I would have had in the closet from the Airbnb, because this is what I used to leave my guests for beverages. And this is inside. Not too bad. That's where the water came through, because that's the end of the veranda. This is the roof, by the way. So you see how firm and nice it looks? Very firm and nice. But the water still came through. If you can see the little holes, water still came through those little areas. So when he came, the water was at this level. He said about this level, somewhere up here. Right? So it was high. Yes. So all the things, the furniture, everything got wet. Water was in all of these things right here. And it was as if nobody was here. And nobody never lived here. Yes, so everywhere had water. The microwave had water. When he opened the microwave, the water was just gushing out. But when I tell you, he did a spectacular job cleaning up. Like, we were coming expecting to do a whole heap of stuff. But this man clean the place. Like, clean up real nice. So this is the room that was mostly affected. So everything in here is like gone, like cannot be used again. The bed, these were furniture that we bought in IKEA of in Canada. I don't remember where that address is. Yeah, but we bought it. So you see that little area where the roof come out? That was where all of the water came down. So this painting right here is gone. It used to be a very beautiful painting, gone. The mirror framing over there is gone as well. The bed is gone. This is one of the drawers. is gone. And this is the closet that I had most of my supplies in for the Airbnb, like, you know, extra stuff, extra toilet paper, lotion, cleaning rags, bathing rags, and, you know, robes, because we have a lot of these robes, and, you know, extra soap. And I had suitcases packed up in here. These are the suitcases that I had packed up in here. These are extra sheets and towels and towels and pillowcases, you know. Yeah, have them packed in bags. So I took them out. These look wet, so I took them out. These were all new pillowcases. See how them look? Spoil up. I don't know if I can get them to come back. I'm gonna try. And this is probably a bag with my clothes, so that if I come down here I have, you know, things to use, and you know, towels to use, because sometimes I use the white towels, sometimes I don't. These are extra curtains and stuff, and blanket comforters. Yeah, so this room now had a bed, what do you call it, chest drawer that matched this. You know, it was like a pair that we bought at IKEA, among some other things. Right? Yeah, so this was the closet that I leave vacant for the tenant. Can't even go in there, so yeah, good. Everything good in there. Right? And honestly, I love the roof. The roof is just so firm and look rock solid. But when we're doing when we're gonna be redoing the roof, you know, these definitely obviously can stay, and, you know, just replace the ones that have been missing, and then do a whole complete different roof all over, you know. So even though these areas weren't really affected by the water, you know, they were soaking, you know. It was just a matter of time. If the hurricane had lasted, it would have been just a matter of time before the water starts soaking down, you know, because of course the shingles outside, those are gone, as you can see from the outside. These are some extra towels that I had left out for, towels and sheets that I left out for the tenant for him to use, because we have too much. Right, so those are good, he said, and dry. So he packed them in there. And this is the other room. This is the chest drawer that was from the other room. So, you know, I don't know if this can use again. I think this gone. I think this gone. I don't know. IKEA furniture, they're made from a bagasse board, and I don't think they're lasting, but we've had this for a good little while. I think we bought them in 2015? Yeah, 2015. I think I was, yeah, 15, because I think I was pregnant at the time with Jada. Right. Yes, so he took the TV off the wall because it was a little bit damaged, wet. Alright, so this was the only room, he said, that had where he was able to sleep when he came back. So he slept in this room. The floor was wet, but it wasn't as bad as the others. Alright. Yes, so we're gonna be going on a mission now to sort this out. And you know, the first step is to see what we can get as it relates to, you know, insurance from NHT, and then we start the ball rolling, have our pictures and stuff from the damaged areas, get a contractor to come in and, you know, give an estimate as to what it's going to cost to get the job done, and then have the documents completed for NHT to, you know, to disperse funds, right? And then we get the ball rolling. So this is a new journey that we're going to be going on, journey to recovery, as we recover this Airbnb slash short-term rental property. It is one of our revenue properties, so you know, we can't just not do anything yet. We have to move quick and fast and speedy to get this done. Yeah. So this is the other suitcase. This is additional towels. These are good. You see, those smell nice, just like how we buy them. Nice.
I didn't do the little pattern.
Oh, so these colors now, what I did was to ask my, oh, these feel damp.
Yeah.
I asked my sister to get me some different colors, because I was a little bit tired of washing the whites.
You put them outside?
Make them dry.
Warm dry?
Yeah. I was a little bit tired of washing all the whites, and you know, they were just getting damaged so easy, and when a guest leave, I have to like literally just use those towels as foot towels. So I said, you know, get me some different colors where we can use interchangeably with them. And that's how we got those colors. But originally we started with white. These are for when family members come over. These colors. They had bought them at a Chinese wholesale. For when our family come over, they can use those when we have too many people and the white's not enough. Yeah, so these that were in the suitcase, they're fine. You know, everything is fine. So if those are the towels, that means this right here are the sheets. And these are the sheets. Yeah, so this was on top. Boy, my sister is so good at packing. My big sister do it, you know, Susan. She good.
You open this?
Yeah, so these are the sheets. Yeah, that's on top. So the one on top. So you see what she does? She have these here underneath, and then she put one that we can, you know, if it's spoiled or not, can go on. Right. Yeah. So hello, we were planning to come down to do a whole heap of work, you know, and we don't know what to do, cause this man do everything. Clean everywhere. So good. So I'm gonna try to see if I can. There's no signal down here, by the way. There's no for phones. So if you have your data, you're not gonna pick up no digital signal, no down here, no flow signal, nothing at all. So I just have to just do over. There's some mats out there on the line. We have to just take them up after, before we leave. And that's that. Yeah. So I had to stop what I was doing, right? And if I ever follow this girl, you see, she make me work until night come down and we don't do nothing because she just moves so slow. She's very meticulous when it comes to cleaning. May I put it that way? Yeah, but anyways, I have to leave to go to the hardware to get tarpaulin to cover the tenant had covered the section of the room that was that was exposed to the open air. So I wanted to get another piece just to cover the living room section and that area, just in case it rains again, it's covered because the shingles are missing. So of course, you don't want any water leaking in. So you see the road on a rock, it look bad. Rona Rock looks so bad. The trees, and you could see clearly where the ocean, the sea comes up, and just oh my goodness gracious, Misha. Yes, so I went to the hardware to get the tarpaulin, and of course I learned that tarpaulins were out of stock. Even the hardware experience, um even the hardware, their roof went as well, so they experienced some damage as well. So this is not what it usually looks like. It's usually fancy and nice, much nicer than this, but the hurricane, and also everybody is in the process of recovering right now. So finally got the small ones. I didn't know how big that size was, to be honest, because I'm not an expert at these things. But one thing with me, I'm gonna always ensure that I educate myself. So I got two of those for on $4,400. And this is me buying tarpaulin, not knowing how it's gonna go up. This is me coming out of the house by faith, hoping that I'll see some man on the road and tell them, say, sir, can you come help me put on the tarpaulin here, please? Listen, I had no blocks to hold them in place. I had no nails or hammer, nothing. I just went out there by faith. And of course, I think it was the manager or the owner for the hardware was offering to loan me two of his guys at a cost. Of course, me never have no money per me. So I say, sir, I can't use my fingernails to pay the man though. Yeah, so anyways, some guys overheard me talking, and they wanted to find out where I was, and they said, of course we can lend a helping hand. And they did come by with their own ladders, their own hammers, their own nails, and they did their thing, and I'm ever so grateful for that. Night almost catch me down there because it was getting pretty dark, and the mosquitoes came out in full force. We took up everything that was outside, packed them away, wash off the veranda, wash off the tables, and pack the chairs inside, and then just head out to weather the journey back to Kingston, to Old Harbor. And it was horrible coming back. There was traffic before we got to Discovery Bay, right up until we got to the entrance of the toll. So we got home like pretty late. And when we got to Spanish Town, we decided that, you know what, we didn't eat from morning and we're hungry, so we're gonna stop at KFC. And it was horrendous. Like the line was wrapped around the building like twice, but we had to wait because we had no other choice. But all in all, it was a productive day. This is phase one of or journey to recovery. I'm going to be looking into the next phase in this coming week, how we bounce back, what we do, the steps that we take to ensure that we're back up and running in due time. All right, so until next time, do take care of yourself and give a helping hand wherever you can, because you may think that you're in a terrible situation, but others out there are in worse situations. There are people out there who don't have food, shelter, nothing. And I look at the fact that sometimes even now we understand and we know that we just had a hurricane, so signals are going to be down, and when the internet is moving slow, we get so frustrated. And I'm like, we're getting frustrated over internet moving slow, and there are people out there has no signal to call their loved ones. Like get a hold of yourself, girl. So just wanted to encourage everyone, stay safe. We have no water, You know, some of us have no power, some of us have no signal, but try to stay safer. And, people are out there helping in whatever way that they can. Organizations are helping. Individual persons are helping independently. People are going into their closets and taking out clothes, to give to shelters and all of that. So we have a lot of people who are helping. So in whatever way that you can, just go out there and help someone, bless someone, and keep on praying, because if you don't have the physical things to give, prayer is also one of the best gifts that you could ever give to someone who is in need. So keep someone in prayers, and if you have a word of encouragement, encourage someone as well. So until then, God bless you. Take care.